Hello, Sioux Falls. My name is Kurt Johnson. I'm the chairman of the City of Sioux Falls Planning Commission, and I'm here today with Jeff Schmidt of Planning Services. And today we're going to be walking through a preview of the upcoming agenda items that are going to be part of our meeting February 1st at 6 o'clock. This is just some draft, kind of in draft form, so this may not be the entire agenda, and some items may be subject to change, but let's just go ahead and kick this off. But before we get into that, Jeff, I do have a question. Can you tell the viewers at home kind of our activity summary from last year in terms of the Planning Commission?
Yeah, that's one of the things that you guys have kind of always asked about is what did the last year look like? So it's nice to look at it in January and go, well, here it is. And so I had put together some of these numbers for you, Kurt, and in hindsight, I'm sure you'll remember a lot of this, but it looks like my rough estimate last year in 2016, you as a planning commissioner had 146 agenda items over the year through 2016. On average, you had, again, you as a planning commissioner, had about 12 items every month. What I'm looking like here, the busiest month we had was in July, where we had 23 items, and average is 15. So, for July was 15. That was a really big month. We had 23 in July. The majority of the items that we deal with at Planning Commission, and you'll see that again today, is last year the majority of them we had 77 rezonings. So that's what we see the most at Planning Commission, was the rezonings. So we had 77 of them go last month. And then, let's see, we had 13 preliminary plans and we had 33 conditional uses. So quite a bit of activity last month. And it's nice to also, and we won't go into this today with planning preview because it gets a little bit too much in the weeds,
Sure.
But for the planning commissioners, I also listed all the items that went to Lincoln County and Minnehaha County.
Excellent.
So there's a full list there too, but a lot of activity that we had in 2016, and 2017 kind of looks busy too.
Excellent. Well, just sign of a growing community.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, let's just go ahead and get into the agenda items that we have for the upcoming meeting then. There is a rezone coming from the S1 General Institution District to the C2 Commercial Community District. I do believe this is one that's kind of been a recurring item in a different form, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about this one?
Yeah, it is. This is the one, and again, if you watch the video here for the citizens, this rezoning is going from the institutional S1 to a commercial use. It's been vacant for a while, and it's the old Franklin Elementary School or the Foss Alternative High School. And it was put up for sale because it's no longer a school, and that's the S institutional aspect. And now they'd like to reuse it, and they thought the best use was going to be commercial. So I think the last time it did come to Planning Commission, right, at one point?
Correct.
Yeah, and so when we looked at it originally, we'd sent it on to City Council. Now it's coming back to us to look at it again. They're not going to look at them as high density commercial. So they're coming back to you as City Council to say, we only want C2. We're not going to ask for quite as much commercial as we originally thought.
That's great, because I know that was part of the original
concerns that you had.
Exactly.
Was, it's so close to residential. It's still on Cliff Avenue, which is a good thing for commercial, but there were some concerns, and it might even have been a split vote, I can't remember, at Planning Commission, but we'll have the public hearing, we'll look at it. We'd always like to hear from the citizens what they like to hear, or what their concerns are, traffic, drainage, those types of issues.
Very good. Outstanding. Well, there's another one here, rezoned from the agricultural district, I should say, to the RA2 apartment residential moderate density district. Now this is at West 85th and South Brett Avenue, so we're getting out towards, the outskirts, or to the city fringe as that's developing. Right. So, what are your thoughts on this one?
This is another one that you've seen already, and it's a recurring coming back to the Planning Commission. It's an existing vacant property, as you can see in the video, and that it's ag now because it's in the city of Sioux Falls, but they would like to rezone it to apartments. It's on Brett, which is a collector street. 85th is an arterial, And what they're proposing, why they're bringing it back to Planning Commission, is because they're going to propose to add more landscaping and more buffering on the south and east sides adjacent to the single-family uses. From a planning staff recommendation, we've recommended both times to approve it. Appropriate to have next to an arterial, to have apartments, and apartments are a good transition between basically those heavier commercial uses or busier streets and single family. That's how we transition.
Sure. Very good. Well, we'll see how that discussion goes then when that comes through. The next one up is an RT2 townhome residential traditional district to an RA2 apartment residential moderate district. Similar rezone thought to the last one. This time at the southwest corner of South 2nd and East 14th Streets. So more in the core of the city.
Correct. And what we're looking at there is with these RTs is the traditional settings. You know, the lots are traditionally smaller. They're harder to develop. So we allow with the zoning classification to have them as RT. At the same time, if they want more density, then they can go to the RA. There isn't a traditional T zoning classification for that. So then at that point, then they ask to rezone to an RA, which is residential apartments. And so then we have the public discussion. Planning Commission makes recommendations forward to City Council.
Excellent. Next, a rezone from C2 commercial neighborhood streetcar district to the I-1 light industrial. This is around the 1500 block of North Cliff. Could be some interesting thoughts around this. What do you think?
It's always interesting when they don't want commercial anymore, right? You know, so commercial is usually that highest aspect, but at the same time, so is industrial, but it's light industrial. This is at Cliff and Rice. It's kind of on that northeast corner. And there's some smaller businesses, some smaller parcels that commercial just hasn't worked on those. Or at the same time, there's more of a benefit. What they're asking is to take some of those, consolidate these smaller parcels into one larger parcel and do maybe a warehouse distribution site. That's what light industrial really sets itself for. It's not heavy industrial, which would be I2, but I1 is warehouse distribution. They're doing shipping, that kind of stuff, and you have interstate access. And so you can get north and east from there pretty easily.
Sure, very good. Next is a rezone from the RS single family suburban district to RD2 townhomes. So kind of residential to residential,
right,
but in the West 5th Street and North Valley View area, so kind of the northwest area.
Yeah, it's north of 12th Street because it's 5th, right?
Correct.
And in that, it's not even really northwest, but I mean, it is north of 12th Street.
Sure, sure.
It's an area that's been developing, but at the same time, they're looking at what's the best market. And as you kind of mentioned, this twin home townhome is one of the markets that we've really seen increase or is really beneficial for Sioux Falls lately.
Yes.
Not everybody wants a big lot or needs a big lot. It's more beneficial for a lot of people to have the same size house or a type of house, but on a smaller lot. And so they do twin homes and townhomes. So in this area, they're looking to do a twin home townhome market. And at the same time, in this area, it's very natural. There's a lot of conservation up there. You're out by Family Park, you're along Skunk Creek, and so you have all those amenities too. So it might be more for empty nesters with these twin homes and being able to walk over to the park areas if that's how they market it.
Very nice. So some nice residential planning in the works there, so very good. Next here, a rezone from C3 commercial community district to C4 commercial. This is at Interstate 229 and east of Grange Avenue, so I think I have an idea where this is, over near one of those auto dealerships right off of the 229.
Yep.
So.
And it is an auto dealership. It's already C3, it's an auto dealership, but they're looking to expand. And based upon what we have now in our zoning ordinance, to expand from C3, they need a C4. It's the next larger classification.
Sure.
So they're requesting with their expansion to go up to a larger classification.
Excellent.
And again, it's appropriate at that area, the visibility from the interstate. 49th Street's another thing that we should mention at this point. 49th Street's always something that comes up in discussions. Are we going to extend that east and west? We've looked at it. We have a design for it. We try to put it in our budget, but it's fiscally constrained. We have financial, issues. If there's money available in the budget, we'd like to build it. So 49th Street would come where people see it now at Western Avenue, and
Yes.
it doesn't necessarily extend past Western, but on Minnesota Avenue it comes over to this location. Could you connect those dots? And then 49th Street, again, would be a much more viable location for these types of larger businesses.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing more about that. So, next one, item number 7, a rezone from the agricultural district to live-work district for allowed forms at East 6th and North Bonson Avenue. So kind of northeast part of town.
This is one that we've seen before too. The applicants are looking at in that northeast part of town at 6th and Bonson to possibly rezone the project and do office, live, work, office with apartments above.
Sure.
Maybe there's other forms that are available in there where you could do a neighborhood facilities. Those are NF forms that we have in there. So you could do a church or a school next to the church and schools that are available up there. So a lot of different options that they have. But I think at this point, one of the things that they wanted to start talking about is meeting with the neighbors.
Very good. Will be an important step for him because
Correct.
there was definitely a lot of input
Yep.
during the last one. I do remember this one coming through before. So great. Well, the rezone next from the C3 commercial community to the office district at West 69th and South Connie. So don't see that a whole lot either, kind of stepping back
Correct.
in intensity of the zoning, if you will.
Yeah, and it's down in that southwest part of town. And 6th, 9th, and Connie, it's really kind of set back from 6th, 9th, and Louise. Connie is to the west, but it has more frontage or visibility from Louise Avenue.
Sure.
So at this point, there's been so much activity in commercial. They could maybe still do commercial, but at the same time, they're the property owners. It's their request to say, but if we wanted to do office, could we? And we're like, have the public hearing. You're absolutely correct, Kurt, that it's interesting that they'd want to do it that way. But if they have an issue where they have maybe a client or a market that they see more beneficial to do office, bring it forward to a public hearing.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's exactly the process.
Yeah.
So great. Our final item here is a conditional use permit for on-sale alcohol within 500 feet of a sensitive land use issue at West 6th and North West Avenue. So yeah, these can sometimes generate a lot of interest as well.
Yeah, and maybe not so much. They do generate a lot of that interest. This one is very interesting. So looking at the video, seeing this location, this is the northeast corner of 6th and West and Burnside. It's an existing gas station, vacant, right? Did I say that right?
Sure.
So on that northeast corner, I don't even know what it used to be. If it was a Sinclair, but it was a mom and pop gas station in that north, right next to Terrace Park on Covell Lake. And so, but it's been vacant for a while. And so it's still a gas station, wants to be a gas station. There's pumps, there's alcohol there, and they want to be able to still do on sale at the location. Okay. So could they do that at that location? We're having the conditional use because to the east there are homes that are more sensitive and there's a park, and so have that discussion.
Yeah, it'll be a great discussion item
Yeah.
for the local residents
Yeah.
there. So outstanding. Well, thank you for watching Planning Preview. If there's any questions on these items as you've seen them, please feel free to contact the planning office. Their phone number direct is 367-8888, or you may also look them up at siouxfalls.org. So thank you, everyone.